So I got the flu. Yes. I promised there would be updates, and I wanted to tell you that yes, the workout worked well. Um, what did I do? So I had obviously the plan of bench press, deadlift, and squats plus shoulder press, and I was doing that every day. It worked out well, and then essentially the law of accommodation came into effect. Law of accommodation is, in a sense, states that if you keep subjecting the body to the same exact stimulus, what happens over time is that it backtracks because the same exact stimulus with the same amount of, let's say, sets and reps, that stimulus is so continuous that the body starts to do, you essentially start to lose progress, and you start to backtrack. You actually start to get even, you start to get worse and worse over time. And so that's essentially what had to happen for me to stop doing that, and then I went back to the regular training and regular workouts. Hopefully, that was one coherent sentence. I have just got over the flu, so I still have residual effects. This was a really bad flu. Took 2 weeks out of training from me, so I'm essentially detrained. So now I have to start getting back into it. I still have some slight side effects, like my nose leaks sometimes. I still have a slight cough, but it's just taking a bit of more time to leave. But I have certain interventions like vitamin C and fish oils. Fish oils are really helping, especially my skin. There was also another concern with me getting the flu. Everything went crazy. My skin, training. So, but it's okay. It happens. The best thing is to just, when something bad goes wrong, just start training again. Just start again. Start slow. Take your time. It's okay. It happens to everyone. So, yeah, I'm coping with it. The next thing I wanted to update you guys on is essentially what I'm going to be doing going forward, and that is more training. And essentially, what I'm going to be doing is my training will be geared around the bro split. I'm not sure why people call it that. It's a really good split. It's just you training that body part each day and using both volume and also intensity. Now, there's always this debate whether intensity can really be used sporadically, because if you're going really intense to failure, then does that not mean that you have nothing left to do other things? And if you weren't going to failure with your intensity, then that does not mean you weren't really doing intense, because now you're doing more volume. But intensity is a wave that you can ride. So let's say, for example, you went to extreme failure on your first exercise. You went, let's say, 4 sets. Fourth set, you went to failure. You did 15 reps on a really good rate. The next exercise that you go on, you could do 5 sets of 5, because it's essentially a wave. You're trying to use intensity and use volume at the same time. So what I'm going to be doing is essentially that. It's just bro split with intensity and volume. And so you're using intensity, volume, and also with doing this, the stimulus is constantly changing in a wave. So it's going up and down, and the volume is still there. Volume is very important. You can't just only have intensity. One of the reasons why is because you you don't have as much muscular endurance as you would have if you had less volume, as you would have if you had more volume. Yeah. So the flu. So but yeah. So the idea is that you so so the idea is that your body is experiencing different levels of training in one session. So you're going for different modes of intensity and volume, and by putting them together, you essentially using the best of both worlds. You're getting both the intensity that you need to go to muscular failure to stimulate as much muscle growth as possible, and also you're doing the volume that you need to be an actual athlete when it comes to doing other things. For example, let's say you train legs and you only ever did high intensity training. What would happen is you'd be very good at the first short burst of things, but for example, let's say you had to walk a kilometer. it would be very, very difficult. But someone who was training at volume 2 would still have a much better time doing that because they had that ability to sustain muscular endurance theoretically. But obviously, you're still specializing in weight training. With weight training, you're just doing weight training. But things have a carryover effect. Last thing you need is to have only high intensity, and then you cannot walk up a flight of stairs. It's just debilitating. You're growing so that you can get better at things, not to get worse. So you want to have the best of both worlds. That's really important. So that's really going to be my training going forward. High intensity volume. Now, you have to keep adding different things into the mix because the stimulus has to keep getting varied. I can't just keep going 5 sets of 10, 5 sets of 5, or intense and volume. The body will get used to things over time. What you need also is dynamic effort. Dynamic effort is weight under tension against gravity. So you going a weight that you can handle, putting either chains or rubber bands on it, and essentially you under a constant form of tension, and you going at it at speed, a very high speed, and this changes the way the body experiences that weight. So you will get quicker, and you will also be training something called the Golgi tendon reflex, and that's essentially just the neurological system and the system of your there's a neurological system that connects the brain to your muscle fibers. And it does that through the nervous system. And those nerves connect to a motor unit. And those motor units have the muscle fibers in it. And so by doing dynamic effort, hopefully you're stimulating those things. And so it's also a really good thing for you to do if you are an athlete going forward. So I'm going to be adding that, and I'll be showing you guys how to do it, how I do it. It's pretty cheap actually. One of the bands cost me like $20, and I'm in South Africa, so that's like $1. So yeah, and it's about 15 kilograms of tension, elastic tension. So it's actually pretty good. And if you get like 4 or 5, you'll be really stacking up those weights would like that are really cheap. So I mean, if you, let's say, have 50 kilograms of raw weight in weight plates, and then you had like another 50 kilograms of bands, you're gonna be good with it. And if you're much stronger, then you can obviously just increase the weight, increase the bands, and so you really just have a lot to play with adding in elastics. I also have chains, and the chain also really helps for shoulder press. I've noticed a lot of growth and stimulus from it. My shoulders have been growing before the flu. It was growing really well, so I'm going to keep adding that in, chains and bands. That's really important. So I'll be showing you guys updates soon. More updates, really, because this was just a short update to tell you what's been going on and what I'm going to be doing forward. So yeah, hopefully my skin gets better, which it will, because I'm taking fish oils and also trying to do different interventions on them. So yeah, thanks for your time, and you'll be hearing from me shortly. Thank you.